This is the card we're making today, made with the washi tape and the cookie cutters. So we have the Cookie Cutter Christmas, which is a stamp set that also comes bundled with a Cookie Cutter Christmas punch. Buy the two of them together and you save 10%. Now the bonus with this is there's also a Cookie Cutter Halloween, which has got a vampire, a mummy, skeleton I think it is, and a scarecrow, from what I remember. And they don't come bundled with the punch, but you can buy them as an extra. Okay, now that I've given a plug for that, let's get on with the card. Very simple to make. All the dimensions and everything can be found on my blog. Now, I've done a bit of it ahead of time, so the video is a bit shorter. So let's get on with it. Okay, first we'll start by putting this bit together. In the original card, I put washi tape on a piece of white card, but it takes forever to get it aligned, so I decided to use some of the I decided to use some of the Candy Cane Lane paper. As you can see, there's gorgeous papers in this set, and one of them's this stripe, so I'm going to use the stripe on the back layer. So okay, we'll start away. So the brand that I'm using is actually Early Espresso, which is part of the Candy Cane Lane colours, matching colours, as well as the Crumb Cake and the Real Red and Whisper White. So there we go, we've got that bit done. Now we will just stick this little fella on with a couple of dimensionals just to give him a bit of a prop up. There we go, just pop him on the side a little bit. There we go, and we'll make his little heart in a minute, so we'll pop him aside. Now this piece is cut at 9.5 from memory, so I'm just lining it up on the grid mat so it's fairly even there, and we'll bring in our this washi tape is a match to the Candy Cane Lane. It comes in the Candy Cane Lane suite and it's gorgeous. I love these little jelly tots. I used to love these when we were growing up in England. I don't know what they call them over in the States, but over in England they were called jelly tots, and they were my favourite sweet as a little girl growing up. Okay, I'll just bring my craft knife in, give that a bit of a tear, and then what I do to make it easier to find the end, just fold that little bit over. Okay, we go to the next one, which is all these tiny little stars, and then once again just across like that, give it a bit of a snip and a fold over, and then the last one has all these pinwheel lollies. They're like the little peppermint lollies that we used to get when we were kids. All very Christmassy with these washi tapes, but I can remember having them at all different times of the year. Okay, so I'm just going to go down with my craft knife. You can do this with a pair of scissors, but I've got the craft knife out. I may as well use it. So just rip these pieces up and get rid of them. There we go. Get those out the way, and we're almost done. Now, I don't know if you watched last week, but I made the biggest boo-boo. I forgot to use my embossing buddy when I was doing my embossing. This week I've remembered. Yay, go me. Now, I'm using Making Spirits Bright, and I'm going to show you a trick to turn any of your classic stamping pads into embossable ones. Now I've got my clear embossing powder here ready to go, and I've got my heat gun ready to go. What you do, get your Versamark, make sure you're nice and inky with the Versamark, straight onto your stamp pad, line it up in the middle. There we go, a minute or so for the ink to transfer, just shift that out the way, and then we'll put some clear embossing powder over the top, give it a shake, and because it's clear you're not going to see if I've really stuffed up on this. Okay, get the heat gun heating up. Right, just let it cool down for a moment. You can see how curled up it's gone. Well, another tip. Since it's curled, it's really made the paper curl, but look how shiny that is. Isn't that glorious? And that isn't even the real red embossing powder. That's just clear embossing powder over the real red with a bit of Versamark. I think that looks absolutely stunning. I've just seen another part I've missed. Okay, that absolutely gleams. It's gorgeous. So we'll just let that cool down for a second. And then what I'm going to do is send it, make sure it's all dry, send it through here for a minute, and that will flatten the card out a lot better than if I tried to do it just by bending it backwards and forwards. It's nowhere near as bended as warped now. Okay, so now we can stick our little fella back on top. So out with the dimensionals. We'll put 4 on the back here, actually 5 on the back, so that if it goes through the mail it's not going to collapse. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, one more, 5, give them all a good press. There we go. And just try and centre it in the middle there. Oh, I'm just so pleased with how shiny that looks. Okay, we'll bring in the card base, fold it over, give it a really good crease with the bone folder, as you can see. And then a few more dimensionals on the back. You find, looks like I haven't cut this cardstock to the right size, but that's fine. We've got that there. Then I'll just bring in my ruler. Here we go. Beautiful. Now how does that look? Okay, there's the original, and as you can see I changed the greeting, and I've just realised I didn't put his little heart on. So out with the punch. There's a little heart on the punch there. So punch the heart out, and then I don't know whether you saw me do this last week. I ended up with glue everywhere, so just bear with me for a moment. So just pop a little bit of glue on the back. Out with my craft knife, and then just place the heart in his hand like so. And then we just cover it with a little bit more of the fine tip glue. Oh, I got that in really easily this time. I don't know whether you saw me struggle with it last week. What a schmozzle that was. So when it dries it'll go really nice and shiny like that one. But there you go. That's this week's card. See you later.